Hello and welcome to Sports Now. I'm Ted Bromwich.
And I'm Arthur Difford. Coming up today we have Leeds Beckett sport as well as sporting stories from across the UK and plenty more over the show ahead. First up we have reporter Blaine Roberts McNally, who headed down to watch Leeds Beckett's rugby league team who played Loughborough in the Bucks National Championships. Let's hear more from Blaine on how that game went.
Beckett got off to a blistering start in the semi-final versus Loughborough as Walker found a short pass into space for Cohen to barrel through the defence. 10 minutes later, Finn Ballback shimmied into space to set off Cohen again down the right flank, who forced himself through the back line, giving Beckett a 10-0 lead. The tide then turned in Loughborough's favour as Beckett failed to cut out a quick interchange, leading to the home side's first points of the night. Battering ram rugby proved effective too, with Williams careening through the defence for the third try. The switch away from Maraud in the right wing didn't last long, however, with Cohen again in control, dummying past one defender and bumping off the final man to secure the try. Quick play following the scrum left just enough room in the Beckett backline for a second try for the home side. Thankfully it was only a consolation, as all doubts on a Beckett final ticket were quashed when Stevenson kicked low to substitute Rickard, who pounced on it to make it 28-8. It was a hard-fought affair for Beckett in the end, but they overcame the challenge and gave themselves a real chance for silverware.
Thank you for that, Blaine, on reporting on what looked like a great game for Leeds Beckett.
Now, to more Leeds Beckett sport, our reporter Rory Matlube takes us through the action of Beckett versus Manchester Met in a first-team men's football clash.
This season has been a difficult one to take for Leeds Beckett men's first team. After the winning the league 2 years on the bounce, they were sadly relegated with 4 games to go this season. Jayden Sandu looked to break the deadlock. Unfortunately, his effort caused no danger. Toby Marriott, Beckett's number 9, opened the scoring in the game. After an exceptional corner by Seb Losa, Marriott was the quickest to pounce in the box to give Beckett the lead against the brilliant Man Met side. Beckett wouldn't be in the lead for long though. Ryan Walsh found an equaliser and even hit the famous Cristiano Ronaldo celebration. Things went from bad to worse on the day for Beckett. Sam Babi-Hale was given a red card after the denial of a goal-scoring opportunity. With Beckett being down to 10 men, the visitors scored 2 goals in quick succession to put them 3-1 ahead. 5 minutes from time and Elijah Wright added a 4th from the penalty spot. After the game, our reporter spoke to Paddy Baines. Here's what the defender had to say after the defeat.
I think, a little bit it became, we let ourselves open up because we were quite resolute for quite a while, and then as soon as they got the first and then they started looking like they were putting a bit more pressure on, it just, opened up a little bit too much for us and it just split us apart. I think it's using, obviously, the losses as lessons. Last 2 years before we've pretty much won everything, and you don't get used to losing and how it feels, so we know now going into next year, whoever's here, that you don't want to lose. You know what it means to fight for the uni, fight for the club, and just not make it easy.
I've been Rory Matlube, reporting for Sports Now.
We're now joined live with Rory in the studio. Now, Rory, you mentioned there's been struggles with Leeds Beckett this season, and how confident are you that you'll get back to winning ways next year?
I'd just like to say thank you for having me, guys. Yeah, so after the game I spoke to the manager as well, and he said a lot of the players are freshers, so they're lacking that uni experience, and hopefully this year, the upcoming year, they can then build on that, get used to more playing uni football, and hopefully bring in new freshers who are talented players and get back for Beckett to win in the way that they normally do.
And following the team, are there any key players that stand out to you?
For me this season, Jayden Sandu, he's an exceptional player. He's really good on the ball, keeps it, looks after it well. And Seb Losa as well, another standout player. Unfortunately, he is graduating though this year, so Beckett will be losing him, unfortunately. But yeah, they do have some very good players.
Perfect. Thank you for that, Rory, and hopefully Beckett can get back to winning ways next season. Now from the football pitch to the putting green, Joe Parsons has taken us through Leeds Beckett golf with these highlights.
Leeds Beckett Ones took on Newcastle Ones in their penultimate game of the season on Sunday at a wet and miserable Beamish Golf Club. President Joe Rushworth set the standard for the day, birdieing the first with a delicate up and down from the right side of the green to go one up and take control early on. A mixture of short holes and temporary greens went for some challenging shots, but his driver didn't let him down and was ever reliable, with the unbeaten man driving the green on hole 4 to go 3 up. A long putt on the next put pressure on his opponent, who lipped out and gave Rushworth a comfortable lead.
Nothing seemed to be going wrong for the boys in purple, with Rushworth striping everything down the middle and hitting every green in regulation, a pure ball striker with an ability to cope with unpredictable winds and sodden greens. Rushworth bombed one over the water, leading to a short chip on to win his match 5-4, and a win that never really looked in any doubt. Wins shortly followed him, giving the team an overall result of 4.5 to 1.5, and an opportunity to clinch the league title with a win away at rivals Durham on Wednesday. Reporting for Sports Now, I'm Joe Parsons.
Thanks for that, Joe. Have you ever been into golf, Ted?
Well, I actually watched the Ryder Cup last year. It was good fun, actually.
Yeah, very entertaining. We should go sometime.
Sounds like a plan to me. I've always wanted to see a tiger live in the flesh.
I'm more of a Victor Hovland man myself.
Anyway, moving on, we have Nico Blakemore covering Leeds Beckett American football, where a student has an exciting opportunity ahead.
Here is Nico to tell us more.
Arthur Kingdom, the GB middle linebacker, preparing himself to head off to the Canadian Football League Combine.
Yeah, so the Combine next week is an opportunity for GB players to show their skills to the Canadian Football League scouts that are going to be there. And it's a good testing period to see where we match up against other elite athletes.
Arthur has had an incredible season so far with the Carnegie American football team. I spoke to his former teammate Oscar on what skills he will have to showcase at the Combine.
I think it's going to be like straight away his athleticism. For his size, he's fast, he's strong, he's explosive, and he's got great length. You know, he's looking at 6'3", 6'4", huge wingspan. And if he puts that to show, then yeah, absolutely great stuff to see for him.
Arthur put in an absolutely monstrous performance earlier in the season against University of Nottingham. I spoke to him on what he believes are his best skills to showcase at the Combine.
He is clattered into fantastic play from Arthur Kingdom.
Just my competitiveness and, you know, how I can be a leader with a group. There's a lot of us there, and I'm just excited to, you know, compete against everyone.
Having played and trained with the Great British national team for many years now, Arthur knows what it takes to be the best. I spoke to his former teammate Oscar on what he was like to play and train with.
It was great. You know, he had a high energy. He was always putting 100% effort in. He's a guy that you don't want to play against, you want to play with. He was great at training, pushing people, pushing me. And it's great to go head to head with him and then see him develop, especially through last year. Like he really upped his game, started hitting the gym more, and no, absolutely great.
Great opportunity there for Arthur Kingdom, and a brilliant name as well. Thanks again to Nico for that. We're now going to go back to playing football with your feet as we look at Beckett's women's first team football in their battle to avoid relegation. Beckett women hosted the University of Liverpool first team in their final game of the season at Headingley campus. This was a vital game for the home side as Beckett needed a win to avoid relegation. Liverpool took the lead early in the first half, but their lead didn't last long as Annie Smith found the equaliser just before the break. The second half was end-to-end as Liverpool failed to capitalise on their chances before Annie Smith claimed her second goal of the game with just 5 minutes left to go, earning Beckett a 2-1 victory and helping them avoid relegation. Heroics from Annie Smith there, and fantastic to see.
Reporter Shiroz Qureshi now joins us live in the studio. Shiroz, how important was that win for Beckett?
I'd say definitely one of the most important wins of the whole season for them, as getting down to the latter end of the season, it's so important to win your games, especially when you're in a relegation battle, as every point matters, and winning that game has kept them up and it's saved the season.
Now, Shiroz, what qualities do you think got the women's team over the line in this game?
I think there's a number of qualities that team possesses, from determination to resilience when going 1-0 down and fighting the way back. And also there's a team full of confidence from the coaches to the players, as they're not afraid to try new things when they might be losing or they might need a bit of flair from someone like Annie Smith.
Perfect. Thank you for that, Shiroz. It's always nice to see a great escape from the relegation on the last day of the season.
Brilliant entertainment, and congratulations to Leeds Beckett women's football on their final day survival. Now, we turn our attention to Bucks Super Rugby as Leeds Beckett's men's rugby union are through to the quarter-finals following a narrow defeat against top-of-the-table Exeter.
The team will make the journey down to Loughborough in just a week's time, and a win would see them have their best finish since 2020, after a rough couple of seasons in recent memory for many Beckett supporters.
Our reporter Ben Jubb covers the team's recent success and speaks to some of the key players that helped the squad get to where they are now.
Leeds Beckett have reached the quarter-finals of Bucks Super Rugby for the first time in 3 seasons. After finishing last year's season bottom of the table and fighting for survival against up-and-coming promotion chasers Brunel University, they now find themselves with a chance of making Super Rugby history when they go down to face Loughborough University in just a week's time. A win would see the travelling side record one of the biggest upsets in university sport.
I think for both teams really it's kind of trying to build on what they've built on in previous rounds and try to build some momentum and find some form for that quarter final. Yeah, it's still very competitive, everyone trying to edge to get that one up on their opposition number, and yeah, every spot's up for grabs really.
Yeah, I mean, well, who knows what can happen in Bucks Super Rugby. Like Dan said, we've been some of the top sides before. We've obviously had a bit of a dip in our performance, but I feel like we're starting to peak at a perfect time, so hopefully we can make a good end to the season. We'll just have one aim, doing well in the knockouts, so we're all striving for that goal. And yeah, there's a good atmosphere.
And then coming towards January, we kind of dropped in a bit of form, but that win over Swansea kind of solidified that, and it's a testament to us boys from where we were last year to being in a relegation playoff to now playing in a quarter final. And a lot of them boys are young boys, so we're going to have a good couple of years.
So whilst a 1-point loss to current champions Exeter last week will hurt, Beckett have it all to play for in the playoffs. I'm Ben Jubb, signing off for Leeds Now.
Thank you for that, Ben. We were looking very much forward to the following Beckett's game in the quarter-finals later this week. Now, last week our reporter Rafa Mora attended the varsity press conference ahead of varsity coming up in April. He spoke with 3 korfball players, Alex Reid, who was the first team president of the University of Leeds team, Ella Cox, the charity and wellbeing officer for Leeds Beckett, along with Max Godridge, the Beckett captain.
Beckett won this fixture last year and they plan on winning it again this year. Whilst Alex Reid praises Beckett, he opens up on his perspective as a University of Leeds player.
I'd say for Beckett, just carry on. Like we lost a few players last year, a lot of the third years, fourth years left, but we've gained a few decent players who've played korfball before, and they've slotted into the first team really well. And I'd just say we've got 2 new coaches this year for the first team as well, who've brought different aspects to the game that we'd never thought of. So yeah, we've been training really hard. We're doing really well in the league and in Bucks, so we're just carrying on what we're doing almost all the way through the year, keep on improving, hopefully we'll get the win this year again.
Yeah, and from a uni of perspective, I mean, we lost quite a few players over the summer as well, so our team this year is quite different. I would say that we've had a good year as well. We've had some really good results in our league, so I know that Beckett won the last one. They do tend to beat us at this, and they are. I mean, to be honest, they're one of the best uni teams in korfball. I've got to be fair to them, but I think, yeah, given the improvements that we've made, I think we can give them a good run this year. I'm fairly confident that we'll be able to give it a good shot. And I should also say as well that this year we've got a second team varsity event as well, and I think our 2s at uni of, we've brought them up basically from complete beginners at the beginning of the year, and they've got so good lately, and I think they've got a really good chance of getting
Rafa Mora reporting for Sports Now.
Well, there is plenty going on in and around Beckett Sport at the moment. We will be keeping a close eye on everything going on. Any favourite stories, Arthur?
Yeah, fantastic sporting stories across the board, Ted. I'll be following Arthur Kingdom's progress in American football, but my favourite story has to be Annie Smith's brace to secure last day survival for Beckett women's first team football. What did you like?
Yeah, 2 great stories from you there, Arthur, but my favourite has to be the Beckett rugby team securing their place in the quarter-finals. Having followed the team over the last couple of years, it is fantastic to see the team finally click on the pitch and achieving the success that they deserve. Moving on now from Beckett Sports, as we take a look down south to Leicester. Our reporter Erin Gethins has a look at how a personal trainer's job has been affected after an injury. Kieran Gethins is a personal trainer who recently had a big setback after unfortunately getting a serious injury while playing football. This has led to him requiring surgery due to a broken right ankle. This will be a long road to recovery for Kieran, and he will be sidelined from football until at least next season. As well as that, he will have to change his approach to delivering personal training sessions. Gethin shared his hurdles he is having to overcome in both the physical and mental aspects of his recovery.
Physical and mental ones, to be honest. Physically, getting from A to B, normal day-to-day activities are a lot more difficult. In terms of getting to and from work, again, because I can't drive, I'm having to either rely on lifts or taxis. And then mentally, it's just hard knowing that you can't basically do the things you love, and knowing it's going to be a long road to recovery, but you just got to kind of just take each day as it comes.
Coming up next, we move on to Doncaster Bells as they travelled up north to Middlesbrough in an away league fixture.
Middlesbrough women hosted the Doncaster Bells at the Riverside Stadium. After defeating promotion-chasing Barnsley 1-0, the Bells were thrashed 5-0 by their league leaders. 5 minutes into the match, Ellen Turnbull would open the scoring with a thumping header, leaving goalkeeper Ellie Sharp rooted to the spot. However, only moments later, another corner would wreak havoc for the Bells as a flick on at the near post would cause chaos in the box for Ellen Packham to nudge the ball into the back of the net. To add to the Bells' woes, Izzy Gigg would bring down Ellen Turnbull in the penalty area. Club captain Sarah Burns step up and convert the penalty where the ball did in fact cross the line. Just on the brink of half-time, Jess Met would make an excellent run down the right flank after her attempted cross rebounded back to her, and she confidently placed the ball into the top left-hand corner of the net. The Bells would come closest with Tugby Andrews' effort from distance, which keeper Laura Wareham would push onto a crossbar. To wrap up the game, Jess Met's long-range effort would rebound into the feet of Ellen Turnbull, who kept her composure and smashed it home.
Dylan now joins us in the studio. Dylan, what do you think went wrong for the Bells?
I think they're just not used to playing in such a big stadium. Obviously the atmosphere on the Riverside is electric, it's a big stadium, plenty of passionate fans there. I just don't think the Bells are just quite used to that at the moment.
Yeah, and you mentioned there about the larger stadiums and the players not necessarily being up for playing in those big stadiums. Can the manager train the players for that?
I think you can't train players to play in such a big stadium. I think that just comes with experience. Obviously it's quite a young squad, they're getting together, new manager came in November, they're just trying to get used to playing with each other and under a new system. It just comes with experience.
Another convincing result for Middlesbrough and 3 points for them. Can you see them taking home the title this season?
Well, the Bells are currently sat mid-table. They've beaten Barnsley, who are chasing promotion, so they can turn over any team in the league. But I haven't seen a team dismantle the Bells like that all season. I think Middlesbrough have to go and get the win there. They're bound to win the league.
Thank you for that, Dylan, and I hope things look brighter for the Bells soon. Now moving on to Harrogate Town, it's been a successful season for the League Two for the North Yorkshire side, who have launched an unexpected push for the playoff places, showing good form over the Christmas period in particular, and have continued the same vein in 2024.
Therefore, with less than 10 games of the season left to play, can Harrogate Town mount a late charge and sneak into the playoff places? Here's Ellis Hendry reporting.
Harrogate Town have been on a rollercoaster of a season, with the North Yorkshire side taking League Two by surprise, with an unexpected push for the playoff places with less than 10 games to go. Having found some great form over the Christmas period and into the new year, Simon Weaver and his side sit 1 point off the playoff spots. Centre-back Warren Burrell spoke about the draw away to league leaders Stockport being a turning point in Town's season.
The team did well with coming out, obviously with the game plan. Obviously we come to every game to try and win it. We got a point, obviously, and a result away at the top of the league would be a good result. I thought we started the game really well, set us off in the game well, and took the lead. It was able to saw, and then they was always going to have a spell in the game. They got back into it. They're obviously a top team. And then yeah, we battled it out for a draw, which is always a good result.
After finishing in 19th position in back-to-back seasons, the Sulphurites were in the conversation to be relegated at the start of the campaign. But with Barrow up next on the road, their impressive away record is a big positive Town can take into that game.
You know, we seem to be doing well this season away from home, so we go there with confidence. Barrow are a side as well that are, you know, in the playoffs, and you know they're going to want and hoping to stay there. So, and us on the other hand, we have to go there with the mindset that we want to win the game. Every game from now to the end of the season is going to be like a cup final, especially if we want to, you know, make sure we're right in the mix come the end of the season. Yeah, trying to take as many points as we can.
Left winger Abraham Ado has been a vital part of Harrogate's playoff hopes, popping up with crucial goals, including a goal of the month contender for his strike at home to Doncaster. With stoppage time winners such as Jack Muldoon's goalmouth scramble against Colchester back in February, there's certainly been a feel-good factor around the Environment Stadium, with fans leaving games happy, getting used to that winning feeling and seeing their team in the top half of the table. Now, with less than 10 games of the season to go, the question is, can Harrogate keep picking up points in the hope of a day trip out to Wembley come the end of the season? Only time will tell. Reporting for Sports Now, I'm Ellis Hendry.
Perfect, and thank you for that, Ellis.
To finish off the show now then, we're going to take a look at local team Yorkshire Rams and their season so far. The Leeds-based American football team has gone through a lot of changes over the past year and look to make their upcoming season a memorable one. With many new faces coming through the door, the team has had a complete rework and are now trying to gel their group of big personalities into the team each of them can be proud of. The Rams get their season underway at the end of April and have been putting in the hard yards on the training field to ensure that they are ready for what looks to be a tough challenge ahead of them. Our reporter Lucas Heslop spoke to Sam Reed and Toby Hinchcliffe on how the team are bonding, the aims for the season and what it's like working under Beckett's very own Taylor Rumland.
It seems really good. There's a lot of happy smiley faces and that's what you want at this point of the season. Good vibes are going to make a good season.
Yeah, I'd agree. It's been good because we've not just got new people coming in from other teams and completely new to sport. You've got people coming from the university teams all around the region. So it truly is Yorkshire Rams. We've got people from York, we've got people from Leeds, we've got people from further afield again. And I think everyone's kind of bought into the ethos, which is just really kind of work hard, you know, get your head down and get on with it. There's lots of new stuff to learn, like we mentioned. So yeah, there's a lot of graft going on, but everyone's kind of chipper about it.
Just have a fun season, enjoy yourselves, and hopefully get to playoffs.
Just turn up and fight every game. I think that's the biggest thing. Is it's enjoyable getting down and grafting when the team's gelling and enjoying itself, like we've said. And I just can't wait for game day, first game of the season, to get down and get hit and having some fun.
Lucas now joins us in the studio. Lucas, looking at the new faces there, a few of them mentioned that the team seems to be bonding pretty well. What did things look like when you attended training?
Yeah, from an outside perspective, you wouldn't even think that they'd been there new at all. You would have thought they'd been there a while. They're bonding really well, cracking in with some of the jokes, and some of the senior members of the team are also, sort of taking the new kids under their wing and, really getting them bonding with the rest of the group.
And I know you've attended a few of the training sessions this year. How ready do you think they are for the upcoming season?
Yeah, they look ready. They look fit. They look resilient. They look determined to make this season a memorable one.
Thanks, Lucas. Exciting times ahead for the Rams and our very own Taylor Rumland. Well, unfortunately, that's all we have time for today. Thanks for joining us, and I hope you've enjoyed it. I've been Ted Bromwich.
And I've been Arthur Difford. This has been Sports Now. We'll see you next time. Take care, and goodbye.